Hey everybody, Rick with Rick's Toy Room here with a Collecting 102 Hot Wheels video, Hot Wheels Treasure Hunts. So, if you watched some of our earlier videos, we talked about doing a Collecting 101 where we dove into the basics of different lines that we collect, that we resell, that we're very fond of. And we mentioned that as we go through those videos, we will do a deep dive into very particular subject matters of each of those lines. And today I've decided that our first deep dive will be a 102 for Mattel Hot Wheel Treasure Hunts. And if you look through the video, you'll see why. On screen right now is something that really kind of juiced me back up to say, hey, let's do this, and this would be the first topic. So let's get into it. 1995, the Mattel company was seeing a massive battle in the die-cast line, die-cast aisle, with fights with Corgi, Matchbox, Racing Champions, trying to get attention for die-cast cars. Collectors kind of have leaned out of the Hot Wheels line. Their sales were slumping. So the marketing, merchandising executives all got together and said, hey, what can we do to really revitalize, get people digging through the pegs? Well, why not offer a treasure hunt? Literally. So what they did was they created a subset in the Hot Wheels main line of 1995. They released 12 exclusive models known as treasure hunts. These models were given special paint deco. They were limited to 10,000 of each model, released throughout the year. Of the 10,000 created, 8,000 made it into mass retail. 2,000 were put aside for some specialty box sets. We'll get to those. The venture paid off for Mattel. They had people digging through pegs, hunting for these elusive treasure hunts, wanting a very rare find. Enough to the point where Mattel said, hey, let's do that again. With some feedback from consumers, they released a little bit more to make it easier to find. They went from 10,000 to 25,000. And again, still making it worth collectors' times and making it worth Mattel's budget. They continued on from that moment until now, releasing treasure hunts. Now, here's where I have a personal Mandela effect. I swear 96 was 15,000 and 97 was 25,000. But current research shows that it was 10,000 in 95, 25,000 in 96, and in 97 they pulled off the production run off the box. If anybody out there has a Hot Wheel treasure hunt between 95 and 97 with the number limited to 15,000 on it, not only would I like to see it, I would like to buy it from you because I want to prove I'm not crazy. All right, so back to the treasure hunts. All right, so we know in 95 was the first year they released. 96, we saw an increase in production numbers. 97, we continue on and we run all the way through 2000 and essentially 10, where only 12 cars were released. The caveat to that is that in 2005, the 10th year anniversary of treasure hunts, Mattel released what I would consider the first super hunt. It was a 13 of 12 VW drag bus. This was the first time that they exceeded the 12 count of treasure hunts, and the first time they've started to explore even more than just treasure hunts. All right, so that takes us from 97 to 2010. In 2007, we see the first introduction of super hunts, where they start to release cars with real riders on them. Real riders, if you watch the other video, are the two-piece tires of the real rubber tire with tread. They normally also come with special paint schemes on them. So 2007 saw the introduction to super hunts. This now means that not only were you collecting 12 cars, but now you're collecting 24 because you have to have the treasure hunt and the super hunt. I mean, who doesn't need both? All right, so now 2007 till 2010, we're collecting 24 Hot Wheels throughout the year. 2011 saw an increase in treasure hunt numbers from 12 to 15. Now, my original belief was that there were 12 treasure hunts, one for every single month. The 15 kind of breaks that, but what I believe, and again, this is my personal belief, my personal belief is that in retail, you typically buy product way early, right? So when you do wholesale distribution, I'm pre-ordering boxes 6 months out right now. I've already ordered 2023 cases for March last week. But what tends to happen is retailers also won't buy old inventory. So if you're pre-selling me inventory for 2023 and it's like, hey, it's already 2022, you're like, well, I ran out of pre-sales for 23, but I still have all these cases for 22 sitting in my warehouse. Most retail buyers will be like, I don't want old stock. However, the idea that there are still some overhang and now 3 more additional treasure hunts for that year, it gives the incentive for retailers to go in and buy some of the older stock of those months where there's that kind of gap between year switches, right? So that's my personal belief on why they went to 15. I could be wrong, but if it's anything what I know about distribution, I got a feeling I'm probably right. So now we've got 2011, we have 15 treasure hunts, and we also have 15 super hunts. So now you're collecting 30 extra in the mainline series. This is still fairly easy to do, right? I mean, treasure hunts and super hunts are still main lines. They're still a subset. And up to this point, they're very easy to identify in the cases throughout all the various paint schemes, but all the cards are exclusively marked treasure hunt. So a few examples here are the treasure hunts, the treasure hunt with little treasure boxes, the special green stripe. They're very easy to identify in a case if you're just cherry picking. If you just slice a case, turn it so you can see the stripes, you'll be able to see the green stripe for treasure hunt, pick them out, leave the case, in and out. You've lost the hunt that Mattel has really tried to drive, which is go through all the cars, find something you didn't know that you wanted, impulse buy it, and then, hey, maybe you'll get lucky and find a treasure hunt. All right, so up until 2011, that was really easy to do. 2012, Mattel changed the game. So 2012 actually had a running change in the way that they identify treasure hunts. They started with the Super Hunt series and they removed the green stripe. So now they started taking cars from any of the other various subsets in the main line and they started making them treasure hunts. Special paint deco, real riders and Spectra Flame for super hunts. And now they've identified them with the wheeled flame. So starting in 2013, 2013, treasure hunts lost their green stripe and they put a silver flamed wheel on the card back below the car, and somewhere on the car's paint deco, you will see the flame, a little wheeled flame somewhere on the car. And it's also normally very distinguishable on the card back. So if you look at the card back, you'll see it, showing one here, and you'll see where it's also on the car in the same location. 2013, they did the same change with Super Hunts. Instead of being a silver flamed logo, now it is the gold flamed wheel. And again, it's located somewhere on the car, or it says TH on the car, and that is how you identify a Super Hunt. Also given the Real Riders and the Spectra Flame paint job. It's been this way now since 2013. I don't know if you're going to see a change anytime in the future. I doubt Mattel's going to make it easy to pull treasure hunts and cherry pick them out of the case again. So you want to go somewhere that talks about treasure hunts, that keeps news up, that constantly has them in stock so you can see which ones are the treasure hunts, which are the super. And this would be a great time to give a huge shout out to hwtreasure.com, who's helped fill me in on a lot of the gaps since 2002 when I stopped collecting until now on some of the running changes for treasure hunts. All right. Now, again, that is just super hunts and treasure hunts, right? That is, if you're looking for Hot Wheels, again, these are mainline subsets. So they are available at mass retail out of a box for the bare minimum. They're $1.25 now. Typical value will go anywhere from $3 to $6 for a brand new regular hunt, and anywhere from $30 to $45 for a super hunt. And you pay $1.25 for them. There are some price variances in that. If it's the most newest treasure hunt, you'll probably get anywhere from $6 to $10. If it's the newest super hunt, $40 to $50. But as soon as they start to hit mass retail more, the prices will drop down into more normalized ranges. So are those the only hunts, the only thing worth value? No. So we talked about earlier special sets. Bought myself a little Christmas gift. This is the 1997 JCPenney Treasure Hunt set. In 95, JCPenney, again trying to win the catalog wars that they were in, had signed a deal with Mattel to get exclusive rights to sell the most limited and hard to find Hot Wheels as a set. They got the rights to sell treasure hunts in full box sets. So out of the 10,000 95s that were available, 2,000 were reserved for JCPenney. They put them in a special box. They released them. From 95 until 2002, JCPenney's had the exclusive rights to treasure hunt sets. They stopped producing sets for JCPenney when they stopped doing JCPenney catalogs, and the market changed. The Hot Wheel Redline Club now picked up the treasure hunt box sets. They do them every single year. Early versions were just treasure hunts, transitioning to treasure and super, and now just super hunts. But if you're a Redline member, it's $10 a year. You'll get an option to buy the previous year's treasure hunt set, one special exclusive box, one run, no need to hunt for them. They go anywhere from $250 to $300 for a set. This year's set goes on sale, I believe, January 6th, 2023 for the 2022 Super Hunt sets. All right. So, is that it? No, absolutely not. Treasure hunts are not free from errors and variations. So, let's talk about variations. In 2006, the last treasure hunt of the year, the drag bus had a running change where some of them were produced on the 2006 treasure hunt card. Others were produced on the 2007 card. This is considered a running change. This happened mid-production. The card backs were changed, and the factory started using the card backs early. They ran out of the old print, so they printed them on the new ones, and that's how you get that running change. There was a treasure hunt error. Now, in my other video, I've told you that errors typically are worth more because they are not supposed to be. This is that rule that breaks it, right? This is the caveat to that rule. In 1996, the Treasure Hunt series was supposed to have a white Dodge Viper RT10 with a blue racing stripe. White rims, really slick looking Viper. Well, a missed factory changeover where they switched which factory was producing the Treasure Hunt for 96. The new factory did not get the memo or did not have the stock of white Dodge Vipers with the blue racing stripe. So what they did was they subbed in what they had in stock, which was a red Dodge Viper RT10 regular edition. Here's the problem. Any normal day, that error would be worth a fortune. The problem is, because they did the factory change early on in the run, the white Viper was produced in way less numbers than the red Viper. The red Viper became the most common. It became a common treasure hunt. It is a common error, and it really is not worth anywhere near what the white Dodge Viper goes for. I bring this up because not only has it been a major discussion by new collectors in some of the Facebook groups, but this is a very misunderstood error. People see, if you find old collector guides or if you get online, like, oh, look, it's the red error. It's worth a fortune. It's not. It is super common. It was overproduced for the 96 line. Probably out of the 25,000 that were made, I think probably 18,000 were in red. So the white is way more hard to find. It is worth a lot more money. The red one is still considered a treasure hunt. Do not mistake that. Just because it is the error does not mean it's not a treasure hunt. It is the common treasure hunt at this point, is how I would call it instead of calling it an error. I would say it's the common, with the rare being the white. Next is, what is the most valuable treasure hunt? We've said this in other videos. I'll say this again. The 67 Camaro from the 1995 treasure hunt line is the most valuable treasure hunt. Typically, a single card can go upwards of $300 to $400. It is also one of the more commonly faked cars on the market because it is worth so much money as a single card. With that said, it also means that the 1995 JCPenney treasure hunt set is the most valued JCPenney box set, or any box set in that matter, because it holds not only all 12 of the first treasure hunts released, but it holds the 67 Camaro, and it is a guaranteed real 67 Camaro treasure hunt, not a fake. So again, I want to thank HWTreasure.com. They were a great source of that missing time gap that I had in my collecting history when I stopped collecting Hot Wheels for a while. Shout out to them. Go to them. They'll keep you up to date. And with that, like, subscribe, and follow. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll talk to you later.